For years, I have been an Android fanboy. Like, I have tried from the OG OnePlus 3 to Motorola to Samsung to now nothing. And it's not like I have not tried iPhone. I did have my own fair share of usage and that burning complaint for years. Truecaller doesn't work. There's no haptic feedback on the Apple keyboard. USB 2 for a flagship smartphone is an L. You get it. A bunch of them. But when iPhone killed their most popular budget series iPhone SE to launch a new series, iPhone 16e, the Android fanboy inside me wanted to try this, but here's a twist. After using so many iPhones, I have a soft corner inside me which does understand people want cheaper iPhones. So for the first time, I'll also try to think from an iPhone buyer's perspective. So Prateek, hi Prateek, nice one, TechWiser, and we'll try to see if this iPhone 16e amongst all these iPhones and Android makes sense. Let's go! Now, frankly, there's not much to unbox. There's the phone, a Type-C to Type-C charging cable, a SIM ejector pin, some paperwork, that's it. No stickers and obviously no charger. Quite flagship unboxing, not a good deal, but you know what's a good deal? Surfshark VPN, who is the sponsor for this video. Fair thing, we have been personally using Surfshark VPN before they even approached us for this video. And reasons why you should use a paid VPN, because you're obviously being tracked around the internet. And getting Surfshark VPN especially makes sense due to two good reasons. Number one, Surfshark VPN works seamlessly on all websites and you can unlock content from other geographic locations that are not available in India. Here's a good video for that. Number two, Surfshark is available at a price of $2.19 per month, which is roughly 187 rupees per month. And you have unlimited device access, so you can share it with your friends and family. So you can go to surfshark.com/techwiser or use coupon code TechWiser to get 4 months extra free. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no harm in trying. Now, back to the video with Prateek. Let's try and understand the iPhone 16e. See, the iPhone SE traditionally was the most affordable iPhone, so it always got hardware of 2 to 3 year old iPhones. For example, this is iPhone SE. It launched in 2016 and the SE had the body of a 2-year-old iPhone 5S. Old hardware. Then came iPhone SE 2020, which again launched alongside iPhone 12 but had the body of iPhone 8. Old hardware again. So since this is iPhone 16e, a new variant, this is supposed to have not so latest hardware like iPhone 16 but better hardware than iPhone 15. Correct? So yeah, the iPhone 16e has a glass back, aluminium frame, and the display does look outdated compared to the iPhone 15, but I can understand. Apple still sells iPhone 15 officially and they don't want the 16e to hurt iPhone 15 sales. That's why you even get lesser color options here. It's just black and white, much lesser colors than iPhone 15, but I'm yet to see an iPhone user use their phone without a case. So if you want to change color, just go to Apple and buy a case. That would only be 4,000 more. So what? To own the best, you have to afford the best. There's a reason Apple offers EMI for the case. Come on. Now, the iPhone 16e feels like a true upgrade when you start using it. See, it gets the action button, so now you can assign shortcuts to it. You can open torch, open camera. The charging port is also now Type-C, which you get only post iPhone 15 series. Now, surprisingly, it has a bigger battery compared to iPhone 15 and even iPhone 16. And in my regular usage so far, there has been no scratches on the back. The phone is also light. It's very one-hand friendly with a 6.1-inch OLED display. It weighs around 166 to 167 grams. It even feels lighter on the empty pocket. It also comes with IP68 rating, so if you're having a pool sesh with friends and a few splashes of water touch the phone while capturing those beautiful moments, it can handle all of that easily. Now I know what you're wondering. How does this single camera perform? Well, again, I was not expecting it to perform better than the iPhone 16, but I guess it's doable. Like mostly you take photos outside in good lighting conditions, so they come out good. It can do 4K 60 FPS on the front as well as rear camera, while still most of the other flagship cannot do that. They can. I'm talking about the year 2018. All in all, if you want to buy an iPhone, I believe right now at 60,000, it's a bit premium, but during sales and everything, if it gets down to 50,000, like any case, it's cheaper than the iPhone 15. It makes sense to get this over the old iPhone 14 or iPhone 13. But that's me, who only uses iPhone and thinks like this. If you open up the world and speak to a normal smartphone buyer who sees both Android and iPhone, how does it go? So if you're genuinely looking to buy a flagship phone, here we go. And before we go on about anything, jokes aside, this is proper long-term review. First of all, I want you to remember this one thing. This phone is called iPhone 16e, not iPhone SE or iPhone 15 or anything. iPhone 16e. So it's part of the iPhone 16 series. Now here's the deal. The display is 60 Hz, has an ugly notch, which I believe if Samsung gave in 15 to 20,000, people will lose it. Like we roasted this phone for this bezel in 17,000. This, ladies and gentlemen, cost 60,000 rupees and is called iPhone 16e. Now the major plus point of iPhone 16e as per Apple is this has the new A18 chip, same as the iPhone 16, and it has 8 GB of RAM, so this will get Apple's Apple AI, Apple Intelligence, Apple, which even the iPhone 15 won't get. So let's break that down. First of all, this is not exactly A18 chip here. It has one less GPU core. So in benchmarks against iPhone 16, it scores lesser in Geekbench, 3D Mark. But then again, these are benchmarks. They don't tell you the story of how the phone would perform in real life. Moreover, that one less GPU, does that hurt the gaming performance too much? So we did a TechWiser style gaming test. We played BGMI, Genshin Impact and COD Warzone for 30 minutes each. In BGMI, you can play it maximum at HDR graphics in extreme FPS, which is 60 FPS, and in our 30 minutes of gameplay, it was smooth. But the phone did get a little bit hot, but at the end of half an hour of gaming, the temperature was almost 43 degrees, slightly higher side. Next, we played Genshin Impact at the highest graphic quality at 60 FPS, and around 16 to 17 minutes into the game, the brightness automatically got dimmed, and we tried increasing the brightness here to full, but the brightness would just stay dim. Plus, at that point, the phone also felt really hot. It was around 46 degrees. Again, gameplay was smooth. There were no frame drops. And at the end of half an hour of gaming session, the temperature was around 41.6 degrees. And at last, we played COD Warzone. The graphic quality was set to peak, same, with FPS set to 60 FPS. Around 16 to 17 minutes into the game just randomly crashed with a black screen. So we had to close the game and then start playing it again. But again, other than the crash, the gameplay was smooth here. No choppy frame drops as such. And by the end of half an hour, the temperature was around 41.3 degrees. So does the one core less GPU hurt in real life? Well, in our testing, the data says not so much. Because we did a similar test with the iPhone 16 for another video, and the performance of the iPhone 16 is almost similar to the 16e. Now for Apple Intelligence, well, this is the current state of Apple Intelligence. The Apple Intelligence as of now works only when the region and language is set to USA. Now, in some of our YouTube shorts, if you have noticed, we have experimented multiple times. And every time the Apple Intelligence loses to Google Gemini or Galaxy AI. Like for example, take this cleanup tool. On simple images, it does a good job. Whereas if you give it a complex image like this, it just goofs up the result it gives. Now, the reason is Apple's cleanup tool doesn't use generative fill or internet to erase the image because Apple might not have found a safe way to do that on the cloud. But then, what do I compare this cleanup tool to? Google's Magic Eraser 3 years ago? Apple is still stuck in 3-year-old tech. The world has moved on. Next, when you ask complex queries to Apple Intelligence like, I want to make chicken Alfredo pasta, so can you help me with step-by-step recipe and the list of ingredients needed to make it? So it gives this pop-up to whether use ChatGPT or not. And when it uses ChatGPT, it gives the perfect result. So as of now, it seems that Apple Intelligence needs a lot of time to make it perfect. I mean, if I have to summarize Apple Intelligence, this news is perfect. Like as soon as Apple launched Apple Intelligence, its stocks fell. So that is the summary of Apple Intelligence. Now, I'm not saying Apple won't be able to do AI. They will. It's a very big company. They'll figure out a way or just partner with ChatGPT for all of it. But you buy the phone now. You would be paying the money now with no idea of how good Apple Intelligence will be 1 year down the line. So why pay now? Now, when they launched Apple Intelligence in the launch event, they talked about a lot of features which are yet to be seen and a lot of promises. Now, I don't want to compare this camera to Xiaomi 15 or iQOO 13. They are better. In fact, they are better than iPhone 16. Like, I just compared it with iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 takes better photos than iPhone 16e because iPhone 16 uses a camera sensor equivalent of iPhone 12 Pro. See, the problem with Apple as of now is they sell iPhone 16 as well as iPhone 15. They cannot make iPhone 16e better than iPhone 16 because then people wouldn't pay for iPhone 16. They cannot give all the features of iPhone 15 to iPhone 16e because then who will buy iPhone 15? The problem would have been solved if they just named it iPhone SE 2025, correct? But then they cannot charge more than 50,000 for this. So they had to add some features of iPhone 16, like not all. Like they gave wireless charging to 16e, but not enough magnets to support MagSafe accessories. They gave it a bigger battery than iPhone 16, but then paired it with this display. They gave it as good as a processor as iPhone 16, but took away the ultra wideband chip. So now you don't get that precise Apple Find My on 16e. Because hey, you can't make this better than the iPhone 16. See, to summarize the entire thing, iPhone 16e would have been a good phone if it was called iPhone SE 2025 and priced at 35 to 40,000 or even 45,000. That way, it is in a lot of ways better than the older iPhone 13 and iPhone 14, still cheaper than iPhone 15 and made sense. But that doesn't generate enough profit, so hey, let's call this phone iPhone 16e and charge more. Now, of course, Apple is not an NGO, it is a private company who has to make profit, but you should think about your own pocket. So no ways iPhone 16 is better than an Android phone. Heck, in a lot of ways, most of the Android phones are better than the iPhone 16. But if in some ways you want the Apple ecosystem, Apple intelligence, get the iPhone 16 or just save money and get iPhone 15. This only makes sense if you can grab it around 40,000. Like, this is not a bad phone, just bad pricing. If you're looking to buy a 3-year-old phone, this is still better than that. And also, there's a good video on that, here or here. I still forget. On that note, this is your Android fanboy Pradeep signing off. See you in the next video, and for rare occasions, I pew.